All right, guys. Hopefully you guys can hear me and it's not too crazy loud. Should be able to connect to Instagram now. Alrighty. Hello. All right. What's up, everybody? I just need someone to let me know that you guys can hear me. That's all I need. If I'm clear. But hello, hello, hello. I am at the Charlotte airport. Okay, perfect. Awesome. I'm at the Charlotte airport, so we'll see if my flight continues to get delayed. I've been at airport since 6:30 this morning, so hopefully I get somewhere to my destination, which is Tampa. And people are like, why are you going there? It's summertime. It's too hot. But I'm here to answer you guys' questions. Just vibe out. I know the exam's coming here soon. And that's scary. But I am here to help you guys. If anybody has any questions right now, let me know. I've been answering questions on my story. You guys have been asking me some really good questions just about like physical therapy in general. So yeah, that's where we're at. If it's too loud, let me know, but I feel like everybody is all good. You were just watching my YouTube video and then saw I was live. I haven't gone live on a feed in a while. Just hasn't worked out. Hasn't been in the cards and everything. I want to start getting back to doing these because I feel it's really helpful to like talk to you guys. Because as you guys know, like I don't want to seem like some scary professor. Like I'm here to just help and talk to you guys. But yeah, the board's coming up soon. So if you guys were at the review sessions, thank you all for being super flexible. It was wild with the whole the power and everything. And I feel like I've just had like one crazy thing after another happen to me with like things not working out as planned. And I'm just like, please, for the love of God, can we just make sure that the next last minute review session like works out perfectly fine? All right, this is a good question. So from Davo on YouTube, I know there are 2 weeks out from the exam, but I feel like I'm stuck with how to study. Yeah, so biggest thing I would say is make sure you guys are taking a PET exam. So if you haven't taken one yet, definitely take one before you take your exams. Okay, you've taken both of your PETs. Awesome. So I would say make sure you guys have taken those and then make sure you're studying from your PETs. Make sure you understand what's going on. And if you're able to, definitely come to the review session. If you couldn't make part one, you can get the replay from it. And then we just talked about a ton of topics that are likely to show up on practice exams and the real thing. And it kind of really gave everybody good insight of like, okay, what am I doing good on? What do I still need to work on? A good thing when you're stuck is to take a practice exam. So then you can go highlight some of the things that you might need some extra help with. So that'll be good. Since I've been at the airports all day, I have all the scenario questions written now for day 2, which is going to technically be day 3 of this review session. So I feel like, so those are all ready. Definitely covered some other topics that you guys need some help with. But yeah, I would say take a practice exam, see where you're at. If anything, like maybe do some more quizzes or like PTA 365 questions. All of those are good to just kind of highlight, okay, what do I need extra help with? So that's a good thing. Oh, hi, Hannah. I see Hannah said hello. Hello. Alrighty. Austin says, I have trouble studying because I look at things like memory. Any tips to work on understanding? Okay, so you feel like you're just memorizing instead of understanding. Something that helps me is like looking up people with the conditions. Like I really didn't understand like Huntington's disease until I like looked up somebody with the condition, and then I watched a video, and then I looked at like the list inside the book of like, okay, what do they look like? I see the chorea happening. I see the unstable, basis support. I see that they're having like memory issues and like all of those sort of things. So seeing that like step by step by step by step, I'm like, okay, that's good. Lady next to me just left and she was hardcore side-eyeing me. Sorry, ma'am. she just ran out the lounge, then maybe she's gotta go to catch a flight. But that's what I would say help you understand things, because then a lot of times when we're studying this stuff, we're looking at it just in isolation, and it's really hard to like have our brain around, oh, we need to know this stuff because we're going to treat real people with this. So looking at real people with the conditions kind of helps things like take an extra step to solidify, so then you know, okay, this is a real person, this is what it looks like, this is a real thing, to kind of get it in your understanding, especially if you're a visual learner versus just trying to memorize things on a page. So that's what helps me, going that like step deeper to understand things. Alrighty. All right, going over to Instagram now. I'm alternating between Instagram and YouTube. All right, Sammy on Instagram says, about to start my last clinical next week. Exam is in October. Any tips? Hey, you're getting there. You are almost done with your studying, so that's awesome. Well, I guess your school part of things, including clinicals. We are going to be having a masterclass webinar, which is free. That's going to be next month. Hold on, let me look at the date. I forgot these dates already. We're going to be having that on the 27th of July at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I think the sign up is there. Maybe. I'll have to check. I think it is. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that. But if you see it's listed there, it's ready. If not, definitely come to that. I would say start now. Make sure you plan out your practice exams. Have at least 4 practice exams scheduled, and 2 of those being the PETS exams, which are from the FSBPT website. As long as you have your practice exams available, schedule those out, and then it's basically chipping away at the Score Builders book. You can use all the resources on YouTube that I have to help you study. So that's my best advice right now for October, is you're doing good by starting now. Managing yourself with your clinicals. How much can you realistically study each day? That's the most important thing. You don't want to be sitting there being like, I can study 4 hours when I come home from an 8-hour clinical. No, you can't. Don't kid yourself. You need to have a life too. So I think that as well. So that's my best piece of advice, excuse me, for that kind of studying. But hopefully that helps. Yeah. All right. No questions on YouTube right now. Cool. I need to plug this in. I'm not sure. Anybody else been flying lately and it's been wild? Yeah, of course. Happy to help. What's a good question? So Tam on Instagram asks, what's a good score on the PET to feel like I'm okay? Anything over a 630 is usually like, that's a good buffer, because most people on exam day score within 30 points of what they scored on their last PET. So with that being said, if you're somebody who's like, oh, I'm getting like 550, 560 on my PET exams, and I'm about to take the test, like, be realistic with yourselves. Like, the chance of you passing is not good at the moment. And I'm not saying that because I'm saying, oh, you're dumb, you should not do this or anything. I just want you to be realistic. You might just need more time, or to figure out how exactly you specifically study, because it's different than school and it's hard, and it's, not something to be taken lightly, but be realistic with yourself. That's the kind of thing. I know you'll hear these stories of like people being like, oh, I scored this, but then I passed on the boards. You don't hear all the stories of people who are just like, yeah, I wasn't good, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, 630 or better is definitely good. Anything, I would say really safe scores are like over like a 660, 670. If you're over 700, don't worry. If you're not passing, if you're scoring like over like even a 650, if you're scoring over 650 on your PETs and you fail the boards, something happened on exam day. And that's usually like an anxiety sort of thing. That's going to be messing with you. So that's the biggest thing I would say be worried about with that. But you're getting above that 630, you're in a good spot. I take the exam in 2 weeks, and I just started studying last week. Do you think I have a good amount of study time? No. No. And I'll be realistic. Like, as you guys know, like, I'll be realistic. Take a PET exam. If you're above a 600, you're fine. If not, you got work to do, and you probably should just reschedule for October. Giving yourself 3 weeks to study for the boards is not a good idea. So your best shot here, take a peek, see where you're at. If you're above that passing score, that's fine. I know people who, like, honestly, realistically, when I went to back to PT school, like, I probably didn't need to study at all. I probably could have just showed up on exam day and been fine. But I want to make sure I'm studying and put my best foot forward. So yeah, 3 weeks is not a good amount of time to study. I usually recommend students to be studying for at least 8 weeks. Okay, I passed 2 Peds with a 630, and the other one was a 680. Perfect. Alrighty. You're good. Keep on studying those. Make sure you're good to go. Maybe take a score builder's exam between now and then. You're good. And that's why I say, like, sometimes people, they're fine with that. I know some people who walked into the exam and not studied a lick and got above 700. It happens. How many Peds do you recommend taking? 2 is fine. If those are the 2 through your school, that's fine. 2 is usually good because that's how many you get for the one. I took a score builder today and got a 66. Okay, that's like a little bit above passing. So just make sure you're studying that, understanding your mistakes, study both your correct answers and incorrect answers. So then you're really understanding what you're doing. No, that's fine. A 66 is fine. I know they say like you need like a 75% or something like that, but anybody over a 65%, I'm like, you're doing just fine. You're on track. So yeah, you're good in track range. Right now, I would just make sure you're identifying if you're making any test taking errors as you're going through your test. But yeah, just the 2 Ped exams is usually good. Alrighty, going back to YouTube. Hello again, Hannah. All right, I realized if I study one topic for a few days and then take a couple of days break and sleep on it, it sticks in my memory better. Yeah, that's exactly why you want to make sure you don't like study your practice exams right after you take them. You want to like do it, let it marinate, and then go back to it fresh. So that's why I kind of suggest for people, like, we make our long-term memories when we sleep. So if you study a topic, a good thing to do is like the next morning to go into it and like think, okay, how much do I remember about this topic? Let's say you're studying spinal cord injuries. How much do I remember about this topic? How much do I remember about the spinal tracts? All that good stuff. Lay all that out. Oh, that was a question I was going to ask for one of the things. Darn it. That's how you want to do it. So yeah, giving yourself a break. Don't beat yourself into the ground. If you find yourself at the point where you're studying and it's just like not clicking anymore, then just put it aside. Try again later. It's all going to be okay. So that's what I would suggest, Hannah. Okay. All right. Any questionnaire. My parents haven't respected the amount of time I want to put to studying this summer because it's the summer. Now I don't feel entirely confident for myself in the exams in 2 weeks. Now what? Take a PED exam, see where you're at. Be realistic with yourself. If you're not passing your PED exam, you're going to need to reschedule your test. I'm talking like if you're right below passing, still give it a best shot. But if you're below like a 570, probably reschedule your exam at this point. I think this just kind of shows it's important to set boundaries. That's the biggest thing. And if that means getting out of the house. So for those of you taking October, like, you might just need to get out of the house and go somewhere else and do something else because you really don't want to have people. Oh yeah, you can take that one. You really don't want people getting all up in your study time. So yeah, the P is like the determinant. It's like I think about like if you're trying to lose weight, like you're talking about all this other stuff, but like if you step on the scale, that's like the true determinant. Like, is this working or not? Because that's like the objective finding. So try to do that. See how that goes. And just, I mean, this is the cards you've been dealt right now. We just gotta keep on trucking. Dava says, one of my problems from my PEDS and my past attempts is I score way higher in the first 2 sections and a steady decline after the break. What do you do for test fatigue? I'm gonna talk about this in part 2 of the review session as well. But the biggest thing I kind of tell myself is like, yo, do I want to be here in 3 months doing this again? Do I want to spend all this money again? And the answer usually is no. So I kind of basically scare myself into being like, all right, I need to continue to take this seriously. So then I don't like jump off the deep end, basically. Some people taking shorter breaks works. Sometimes people taking longer breaks works. what I like to do is if I start noticing myself drifting off and I'm like getting into section 3, like I'll go through section 3, I'll go for like the first 10 to 15 questions. And I have a video on YouTube of this. It's like 10 and go back method. And I'll go through the first like 10 to 15 questions. And then what I do is I go back to the beginning of that section and I redo those 10 to 15 questions. Because by the time I'm at that point, I'm like into the section and I'm not like drifting off as much. So scare myself and doing the 10 and go back method. That can usually help as well. And reminding myself like I still got this and taking it one test question at a time. That's a good way that I like to do that. All right. I'm just getting a lot of anxiety and I'm nervous. Yeah. I'll say, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably because you waited till the last second to start studying fully. That's okay. Here's where we're at right now. like that's where we're at. It's okay. You're gonna do the best with the time that you have. But the good part is you are passing. That's the most important thing. You're passing your test, which means you can pass the board. So taking it one step at a time, one question at a time. Eat Sleep Bar says, I'm so close, a 550 on my PEAT last week. I have one more to take last night. Any advice? This is my second choice. So I'm not trying to be rude or anything or burst your bubble, but a 550 is not close. You still have a lot of work to do. And honestly, at this point, if you're not scoring above a 570 on your next PEAT, I would honestly suggest rescheduling your exam to October because that's not a good indication of readiness to the test. Now, as I said before, it might be because you're not studying correctly. It might be because you're not taking the proper approach. It might just be that you need more time and need to marinate with the subjects more. So my best piece of advice is, and I'm saying this just to be completely honest, because I'd rather be honest with you than say like, no, you're going to be just fine. Here's the thing, you can still bring up that score. You can still bring up that score. What I would suggest is look and see what kind of mistakes are you making on your test. Is it that you're misreading questions? Is it that you're not understanding certain topics? Is it that you're like trying to memorize instead of like understand things? Like that's the biggest thing that I want you to understand. So biggest thing is 550 is not close. That's still a pretty big hole to climb out of. Not a huge hole. I'd say it's like, instead of like the 6-foot holes and holes, it's like the 3-foot ones. So make sure you guys work on that. And if you want to, you can send me your results too. Like send me the PDF of the screenshots of that PDF. There might be some, fatigue or something like that that's doing it. So just kind of really looking into your test and seeing what's going wrong and what's going well, and to try to do more of what's working and less of what's not. Right, Amber says, I took the first PEAT, it was a 605, second was a 670. Should I take another test on, I'm assuming you meant score builders instead of skill builders. Yeah, you can take another test. Those are great scores, Amber. Just want to kind of check in with you. Are you feeling a lot better about this attempt versus the last one? I know you've been working hard. Hopefully you didn't work yourself to death with this one, but hopefully that's making more sense. I think right now, if you guys are going to take any more tests, like only take like one more. I don't think you need to take like 50 million tests before the exam. Oh no, you're good. Yes, sorry. Are you feeling better, Amber? I'm sorry. I see the hell no, and I don't remember what I said that you were like. Or are you feeling worse? Oh, hello, Nicole. Nicole's here. Nicole, were you able to get logged into the replay? Do you think it would be beneficial to take a PEAT exam and though you already have taken the 3 score builders exams? I would make sure you take PEAT exams. Those are like the most important tests to take. Like I even tell people, if you're between buying any of my stuff or buying the PEAT exam, please buy the PEAT. Okay, good. I'm glad you got logged in. Perfect. Okay. Glad to hear things are going better. That's okay. Score builders is hard. Don't feel bad if score builders isn't going well. All right, no questions on YouTube. All right, my flight board's in 29 minutes so far. Let's see if it actually does. I'm like afraid that it won't board. My bag is on a different flight, actually. But that flight hasn't taken off yet. So hopefully I get to Florida, and so does my bag. What are some important topics to really study for? We definitely covered a lot of these at the review session. A lot of them were like definitely gait, making sure you understand pediatric timeline, lung volumes, um, lab values, understanding the different like pathologies of like the knee and shoulder are big ones. Spinal cord injuries for sure. Understanding CVAs and like neuroanatomy, those are really big ones as well. Yeah. So I mean, as case, cardio and neuro are like overarching themes. I'll say, hi, can I send you my beat results? Yeah, send them here. Nobody email me. I hate emails. Emails make me want to throw up. Just send me pictures here on Instagram. I'll be able to get to them. I might not get to them today. I'm a little nervous that my bag isn't going to make it to Florida. So we shall see. Cardio rehab, not, I mean, a little bit. Knowing the phases, what lab values focus on, all the ones in the book. And if you came to the review session, I talked about the more important ones. I took my second P today, and I feel like the review session really helped with a lot of those topics. Thank you. That's awesome, Erin. I'm glad you felt more confident. That's the most important thing, that you're feeling more confident about the topics and that they're making more sense, and that you feel like when you see the questions and topics, you're like, hey, these are more manageable than before. I want you to feel more in control of the test. I don't want you to feel like the test is controlling you. What's a good score to get on heats before July? At least a 630. That's a good score. Oh my goodness. I am so sleepy. I'm over this. But hopefully you guys are doing well. Anybody have any questions? Oh, here we go. Ash0123 says for anterior compartment syndrome, they would only have pain with P-ROM of the dorsiflexors corrected to happen with A-ROM due to chronic anterior compartment. So they'd have pain with both because it's pushing on the tibialis anterior. So they would experience both. Yeah. Yeah, studying the PETs you already took is a good idea. Motor learning questions on exam. Is that a statement or a question? I'm sorry. Yeah, you're welcome, Ashley. It looks like somebody sent me their PET exam results, so that's good. We have a question on YouTube. Austin asks, how would you recommend reviewing all the material we've been studying the week before the exam? Should I do one big document or something different? Whatever you feel like helps. I think your practice exam helps to make sure that you're remembering the information. Just constantly reviewing is not studying. Well, it is studying, but it's not like active studying. Like doing active recall is the big thing. The thing about making a big document is you might realize like you never read through it and you're just making the document. So if you feel like making the document helps you study, that's fine. But the important thing is, can you recall the information? So maybe doing some more quizzes, ask questions, all of that's going to be beneficial to helping you understand things. Oh my gosh, I forgot to write to my students. We have to post our wins for the week. I don't feel like I'm winning much. On Wednesday, we post our wins. What wins have you guys had this week? Oh man, what a journey. Winning Wednesday. Oh man. Okay. Mass practice versus block. Yeah, making sure you understand those is important. And I have a question about that in our scenario questions for part 2 of the last minute review session. So if we're coming to that, that's going to help you understand it. But yeah, knowing the different types of practices is important, and like knowing like what stage of learning would they be using it in, whether it be the cognitive, associative, or autonomous stage. I use a 10 and go back method in a practice exam. I got a higher score. Thanks, Marie. You're welcome. Yeah, that's what definitely helped me, because then I wasn't like getting super worried about stuff and like panicking all the time. Jay asked, ways to remember ultrasound and e-stim parameters. Big thing is thinking about like what would you use each different setting for. So like understanding 3 is superficial, 1 is deep. If we want to have more intensity, we have faster tissue heating versus less. So we want to use more if we want to get like tissue like heating, and then less if we want to just use the more like wave benefits of ultrasound. So like for like wound healing and stuff like that, or to help with like, you know, blood flow and whatnot. So those are the big things that you would know about ultrasound, like going through each parameter. Why would you use one setting versus the other? You have continuous, you're adding heat. If you have if you have pulse, then you're going to be having less heat. So you do that for things that are like inflammation and whatnot. So that's the best way I can think of those. And e-stim is just thinking, what are the different types of e-stim you would want to use for like what condition? So like, you know, IFC for pain, NMAS if you want to do muscle activation, all that stuff will be good. Do you have any videos on amputation and treatment orthotics? I had my P question had a lot of that. Is this Gracie who's in my course? Because I have videos in my course on that. If not, I think I have a video on amputations. I'm pretty sure I have a video on amputations. And then if this is Gracie inside my course, I have videos on all these inside my course. I am. Give me one moment, guys. All right. Yep, you guys can send me your results here. That's totally fine. If not, my course, you've been using everything on YouTube and Spotify. That's good. I hope it's been helpful. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off. My flight boards in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to go to the bathroom and head to the gate. But hopefully this has been helpful. If you guys have any other questions, you guys can keep putting, I put like a question thing up on my story, but I feel like this was really helpful for you guys. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, so I'll see y'all later. Take care. Hopefully I can make it to Florida.